Many people pass through life with a sense of emptiness, as if they are merely existing without truly living. The lack of connection with themselves and the world around them makes each day feel heavy, dull, and hard to name. This is not a new or rare feeling. It is something humanity has faced for a long time, and whether quietly or forcefully, that feeling always reminds us that a change is needed, a way to return to ourselves. The path to escape that state is not to run away, but to learn how to rebuild each part of ourselves, from the mind, body, to the heart. When these three elements are cared for and connected harmoniously, we can reach a more fulfilling sense of life. The principles of Stoicism, with its calmness and practicality, provide a solid source of inspiration for that journey, helping each person rediscover the foundation to stand firm and move forward with greater clarity, strength, and peace. The three rules of Stoicism remind us to return to align our mind, body, and heart as three inseparable pillars. When the mind is in the right place, we see ourselves more clearly and are no longer swept away by chaos. When the body is properly cared for, we regain the stability to face all challenges. And when the heart is preserved, we unlock an inner strength sufficient to lift ourselves up in moments when we seem to falter. These seemingly simple steps can create a silent yet powerful rebirth, as long as we have the courage to embrace it. For it is from the quiet change within that life begins to move in a different direction, deeper, clearer, and more enduring. Many people can no longer master their minds because they have allowed external noise to dominate, from the relentless flow of news to the chaotic social media. When the mind is pulled away like that, clarity and direction gradually fade, causing them to live in a state of reaction rather than choice. To regain control, one must first begin with a process of purification, as if peeling away layers of dust that have long settled in the mind, allowing tranquility to have a chance to return. From that clarity, individuals can then ask themselves where they are heading and dare to redraw the path they truly want to take. Once direction is rebuilt, the invisible prisons that have held them, the seemingly obvious and unbreakable limits, begin to shake, opening up a sense of light freedom. However, to maintain that freedom, the mind cannot just be liberated once and for all. It needs to be trained every day. A small regular ritual helps the mind become stronger, more resilient, and robust enough not to be swept away by the noisy world around. To truly purify the mind, one must begin by replacing mental chaos with truth. This does not come from skimming or superficially absorbing information, but from philosophical texts that have the power to illuminate, and from the real-life stories of those who have overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. When we dedicate the first 30 minutes of each morning for 7 consecutive days to enter that quiet space, the mind gradually gets cleansed and reorganized. That moment is not for reading to gain more knowledge, but for practice. Each line becomes an exercise, each reflection a new breath that helps us change our perspective, feelings, and reactions to the world. And it is this consistent practice that opens up a gentle yet powerful journey of purification, allowing the mind to become clearer each day. Instead of focusing all your attention on end results like happiness or success, direct your gaze towards the person you are striving to become. When you choose to concentrate on the qualities and kindness within yourself, you not only change your goals, but also transform the way you walk on your journey. Each day you can declare who you want to be, what values you want to live by, and that moment of making such a declaration opens up a path for change. Transformation does not occur in leaps, but is formed from the small decisions you make, bit by bit. And when you persist with those choices, each quiet action becomes an important piece, bringing you closer to the person you wish to embody each day. Every time the familiar limits whisper that I cannot, that it is too late for everything, I choose to confront them and rewrite them with powerful affirmations. Each sentence is lifted from doubt into a new declaration of ability and will, like relentless blows shattering the invisible wall of the old self. And it is in the moment those beliefs transform that I clearly feel myself stepping out of the cage no one can see, to stand in the open space of a stronger, freer person. Every day is a journey of training to keep the mind on your side. It starts with actively identifying the negative thoughts that creep into your head and replacing them with more positive, clearer thoughts. This is not just about encouraging yourself for comfort, but a mental discipline that helps you navigate your inner self with clarity. When the day ends and all sounds gradually fade away, take a moment to reflect on whether your mind has served you today or quietly hindered you. It is this moment of self-reflection that transforms the practice of mental training into a lasting strength, helping you build a more resilient inner world step by step each day. When a person truly masters their own mind, they simultaneously hold the fate and the power to shape the reality around them. It is the moment we realize that everything we experience is guided from within, and the strength to change our lives does not come from the outside, but from how we control the continuous flow of thoughts. In that state of awareness, we firmly declare that this mind is our kingdom, and we are its supreme rulers. No longer swept away by chaos or doubt, we stand firm in the position of the owner, the decision maker, the leader of the entire inner world. And once we have become the master of that kingdom, we also become the master of our own lives. The body is always the foundation of the soul, and one cannot nurture a strong spirit when the body is weak. By learning to care for and train the body properly, we create a solid support for all mental efforts. This begins with discipline in nutrition, consciously choosing what we put into our bodies instead of succumbing to easy habits. Alongside this is the prioritization of sleep. For only when we are fully rested can we have the energy to face the challenges of each day. The body also needs to be active, even if it's just simple but regular movements to awaken vitality and maintain rhythm for the entire system. And on the path to building a solid foundation, we learn to accept intentional inconveniences, the small challenges we voluntarily enter to expand our own limits. When the body is trained through discipline, rest, movement, and conscious endurance, the soul can stand tall, clear-minded, and strong. Every food choice is essentially a moment when we consciously decide to nurture or undermine our own potential. When we look at a meal with awareness and mindfulness, we realize that each bite not only affects our body, but also influences how we operate in all aspects of life. Discipline begins with the smallest things, and the fork in our hand is the clearest evidence. When we have the courage to control what we eat, we gradually learn to control every other aspect of our lives. Consider each night of sleeping a full 7 to 8 hours as a ritual of self-respect, a way you quietly tell yourself that this body and mind deserve care. When you allow yourself to rest completely, the streams of thought become clearer, as if the fog in your head has been swept away by a gentle breeze. Emotions also return to their natural balance, no longer swayed by the trivialities of the long day. And in the moment you wake up, your will is renewed, stronger, ready to lead you forward with the clarity and steadiness that only a full night's sleep can provide. Every day, just dedicating about 20 minutes to moving your body pulls you out of the stagnation that easily clings to you when life is too quiet or heavy. The moment you walk, stretch, or simply let your breath guide your body, you are speaking without words, sending a clear message that you are in control of yourself. Any form of movement, no matter how small, carries a quiet strength, like an affirmation that you are not standing still in life, that you still possess the ability to lead yourself, to change, and to lift yourself up. Actively choosing difficult things is like stepping into a forge to be tempered. When we willingly face small challenges, those uncomfortable moments that seem meaningless quietly build our inner strength and nurture the belief that we can overcome much more. Each such action is a gentle yet profound reminder that we are not weak, that we can stand firm in the face of life. And when we view the body as a sacred temple, we naturally become its loyal guardian. We choose to treat the body with respect, care, and discipline, not out of obligation, but because we understand that it is the foundation for everything we desire. In this care and training, we find peace, strength, and a quiet yet persistent faith. The feeling of emptiness is not a void, but a sign of a heart that has become numb, covered by unconscious walls built to avoid pain. However, when those walls rise high, preventing pain from entering, joy is also blocked. Life within thus becomes dull. A strong heart is not one that has never been broken, but one that, despite being shattered, dares to open its doors once more. The path to this is a journey of rediscovering one's own heart, gently peeling away the heavy layers that have covered it, and allowing each heartbeat to know a clear purpose. At that point, the heart is not only healed, but also awakened to fully experience both pain and joy, as two indispensable sides of a truly lived life. Sit quietly and let the silence envelop you, as if the world has paused so you can hear yourself more clearly. In that space, ask yourself how you would live if there were no fear of failure, what you would dare to do, and what truly matters to you. Then listen for another question, deeper and more honest. Who are you when no one is watching? When there is no need to prove or hide anything? The answers do not come loudly or hurriedly. They gently stir, like whispers rising from the deepest part of your soul, where it always knows who you are and what you need to return to yourself. Sometimes what holds us back is not the present, but the old emotions that have taken root too deeply. Anger, guilt, regret, fear, and even disappointments that have never been named. They silently become a burden, making the heart weary without us realizing it. The path to relief is not about forgetting, nor is it about justifying anything, but about daring to let them go through forgiveness, forgiving others for what they have caused, and forgiving ourselves for the things we could not have done better. But this forgiveness is not for their liberation, but for our own ability to move forward, freer and more at peace. When we open our hearts to let go, the heavy layers of emotion gradually leave our minds, making way for the lightness we have always awaited. Letting go does not make us weaker. It helps us rediscover the wholeness within ourselves, where we can take a deep breath and feel the liberation we truly deserve. A heart without direction will forever wander in darkness, as if each heartbeat drifts into oblivion. Only by creating purpose through action can we see the light that guides us. Whether it is helping someone, creating something new, sharing what we know, giving what we have, or simply loving sincerely, each act becomes a thread pulling us out of our own ambiguity. And then we realize a simple yet profound truth. A heart that knows how to give will never run dry. The 3 rules of Stoicism are interconnected like a cycle of rebirth. When the mind is adjusted, the body naturally finds the right direction. When the body is trained, the heart becomes stronger and more resilient. And when the heart is opened, that source of energy nourishes, illuminates, and sharpens the mind. These 3 forces blend together to create a state of internal balance, where each part supports the others. When this harmony is maintained, a person becomes steadfast, difficult to sway, and almost unstoppable on their journey. The power of perseverance lies not in achieving a state of perfection, but in the consistent efforts we dedicate to our own journey. Each day, we choose to show up, even when we feel tired or doubtful. Yet we remain loyal to the path we have chosen. It is this steadfastness, repeated over time, that brings about true transformation. It is not the fleeting moments of brilliance, but the steady, quiet, and persistent steps that help us become a better version of ourselves. Be steadfast in your mind, train your body, and heal your heart to awaken the powerful and unyielding version within you. When these three strengths unite, you will realize a new life quietly waiting for you, open and full of transformative opportunities. This is the moment for you to step forward, open the door you have always longed for, and begin your journey of transformation today with all the faith and determination you deserve.